Hey, what's up guys? It's Brian here, Brian's Law Maintenance. All right, check it out. We're going to be talking about marketing and marketing strategies and what you guys can do best to grow your business and market yourself and do it differently than everybody else in 2019. All right, so if you guys are new here, my channel is all about helping you guys grow a more successful lawn care landscaping business so you guys can go out there and crush it. And one of the ways that we do that is by actually having business to go crush it, right? So let's talk about marketing and advertising and some best tips and advice that I can give you guys going into 2019. I know it's an early topic, maybe you're watching this video in 2018, but a lot of you guys are already asking me questions because here's what I keep realizing is that a lot of you guys are going into business for yourself for the first year in 2019 and you're already kind of getting your ducks in a row, you're playing chess, and you're thinking about going into business for yourself. So here's some stuff that I can tell you guys, that some practical X's and O's. And then I also want to give you guys some thought process here about how to market your business going into 2019. If I had to distill it all down into one sentence, one topic is you want to have people A, think about your business, and B, keep people thinking about your business. That's the best marketing tip that I can give you guys going into 2019, whether you're a new business or an established veteran business. Let's check it out. Let's give some thought process behind this. Let me give you guys some ideas, and let me put a little bit more meat and potatoes behind what I just said. So about a week ago, I was on the phone with one of you guys, a gentleman named Sterling. He actually lives about 45 minutes from me. He left me a voicemail. I always tell people, please don't call. If you want to get a hold of me, shoot a message on Instagram and DM or shoot me an email. But he left a voicemail. I happened to be driving and I said, you know what, hey, what the heck? There's about a couple dozen of you guys that I have called back, and you know, I'm just a regular dude. I'm really easy to get a hold of. I don't like try to take phone calls because it's just impossible to do everything. But in this example, I said, hey, I got 10 minutes, I'm driving, let me call this guy up. And Sterling, shout out to you, Sterling, if you're watching this, is getting his business started in 2019. And he said, well, hey, how do I like get my business going? Like, what's the first thing I should start doing? He knows I know I need to market, but I just don't really know what to do. What's some best ideas? So let me tell you guys, if you've watched any of my videos for any length of time, there's a couple things you can do. The X's and O's are really simple, guys. Things like marketing with postcards and flyers, and we're gonna do a video here in the spring on Send Jim, which is targeted postcard marketing. I can't wait. It's a really cool service and program. Let's talk about branding with your trailer, your signage, your trailer on the utility trailer, word of mouth referral programs. You guys have heard me talk about this kind of stuff at length on a lot of videos. But marketing and advertising, it really comes down to, if you want to distill it, two things. It's getting people to know about your business and keeping people engaged and thinking about your business. That's all it is. That's all we're trying to do as business owners. And when I was talking to Sterling, I had gave him some encouragement that, you know, here's the deal. He, just like a lot of you guys, has spent a lot of time with his logo, his branding, setting up his paperwork, his bank accounts, all this other stuff. He's got shirts and hoodies and new marketing materials like flyers and postcards. Sound pretty familiar for a lot of you guys, right? And he's full of gusto and he's very excited about his new business. But here's the deal. As much thought as Sterling has put into his business and as much time and energy that you guys have put into your business, here's the one thing, and here's the reality. Here is the outside looking in perspective that I want to give you guys. Unfortunately, nobody else is thinking about your business and nobody else cares. Well, what do I mean by that? That sounds kind of rude. Well, here's the reality is that you've got new shirts and new logos and you got this cool creative name and maybe a slogan or a branding or a deal or whatever, right? And you bought lawnmowers, you got a trailer, and you're like, man, we're ready to go. The reality is, other than maybe your close friends and family and maybe a few people on Facebook, nobody knows that you're in business for yourself. Nobody knows that you just started a new business. And so our first wall that, in my opinion, that you have to come up against is getting the word out. Right? I know this is basic stuff, but you got to master the basics, and that's something that I've done pretty well, I feel, and that's why I do videos on things that I've done well. If I haven't done very well on certain topics, I don't do videos on that, and I hope you guys can relate and you know, understand that I'm just a real dude just trying to figure life out just like all of you. So here's what I told Sterling. Number one, start with Facebook, start with your friends, start with your family, start with postcards and flyers in your local town and market, postcards, or I should say yard signs at your local grocery stores and gas stations. That's going to get the word out that there is a new business in town that you want to do work with, and that you can now take on new clients. For example, my friend Brandon this year, a lot of you guys have been keeping up with Brandon on Instagram, and he'll tell you straight up, he's spent like over $1,000 or $2,000 this year just on postcards, passing out probably 10 1,000 postcards for his new business. Now, why do I always talk about Brandon in my videos? Because, well, it's his first year in business, and he's a great example of, hey, I've got to be proactive. I've got to be aggressive. Even if it's not your personality type, which it's not mine. I know I'm pretty tough on these videos, and I am always moving fast, and there's a lot of quick edits that make it sound like I don't breathe. Okay, but reality is, I'm very introverted personality. Guys, I'm in the truck all day by myself for a reason. I don't like people, like, believe it or not. And I don't like talking to people. I don't like talking to people any more than you guys do. But the reality is that that personality type, or that perspective, that attack plan is detrimental. It's not going to produce any results for a lawn and landscape business or any business. If you're a business owner, you're also in sales. You have to get the word out about your brand new business. Now, how you do that, it's all up to you. What I told Sterling is that what I can't do, what other lawn care landscaper guys can't do, is tell you guys the exact way to market your business that's going to work best for you. Some folks like to do postcards. Some people like to do Facebook ads. Some people just only do referrals. You know, for me, one thing that I know that works for me really well is I work nights and weekends, and we always get the neighbors coming out because we're always in the subs after hours and people are home. You can't really teach that as a strategy, an X and O tactic for you guys. That's just something that I do. Another thing that I wanted to give you guys examples where sometimes you just get lucky. Sometimes you just have serendipity kind of situations where, for example, last week I'm finishing up a mow for a client. 2 houses down, the guy comes out, happens to be the HOA president for a little bit of a court or a sub that I'm in, and you know, dollars and cents, the contract's worth maybe about $2,000. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, but he didn't get a postcard, he didn't get an advertisement, he didn't get a customer referral, he didn't really get anything traditional that we tell you guys to do on all of our videos, myself and all the other YouTubers that you guys watch. And same thing with another HOA that I have, that's kind of the anchor property that I manage, and it's a good 5, 10, 15% of our business. Well, I befriended the HOA president over 7 years. It took me 6 years of putting in bids before I ever got the account. Now, I can't teach you guys that came from a postcard, a Facebook ad, a yard sign, etc., etc. So let's go back to our original statement. 2 things you're always trying to do. Get on people's minds and then keep on people's minds, right? So every time for 6 years I saw the president of the HOA that I'm in, I was always friendly, cordial, upbeat. We were on time doing work for other clients and in the subdivision we were in. And I always said, hey, no big deal. Let's call the lady Mary. Hey, no big deal, Mary. Catch me next season if you guys want to change it up. Hey, no big deal. Catch me next time, Mary, if you guys want to keep up and have us mow the lawn. It never went anywhere for 6 years that I was putting in bids. But because I'm good with branding and marketing, and I'm consistent and I'm persistent and I'm thinking long term and I have longevity, these are things that I can't teach you guys to, you know, X and O. You have to spend years figuring this stuff out and staying established and sticking around with any business, let alone a lawn and landscape business. But I got on somebody's mind and I kept on somebody's mind. So point number 2 obviously was, how do you stay on people's mind? Well, being consistent and being good at being here year over year. And doing the same, more of the same. Most people try to get fancy by, you know, what's this guy doing, what's that guy doing. The reality is that I've done the same 5 or 6 basic principles, and we've just done them year over year over year over year over year, and it's just exponential. It's business isn't always linear. Business is exponential. And eventually, when you ride that so right here in that little curve, I'm like right here. We're in that arc where things are going like this. But it took 7, 8 years, and it just felt like 8 years to chisel out a $50,000 a year business, and then the next year $80,000. This year way north of 6 figures. And I'm not, trust me, I'm not anything fancy. I'm making not making stuff up, but I'm learning from good people. But I made stuff up the first 8 years. If I had what you guys have access to on my channel, let alone the rest of everybody else, you should be able to chisel out a good 50 to 80,000. Look at my friend Brandon. He's going to do way north of what I did in my first 8 or 9 years in his first year. So talk about good, and that's not just me. That's because of all the stuff that you guys put out there on YouTube as well. And then my friend Mike, and just we're all working together. So if there's a one tip that I could distill it all down for, I know this is kind of it's getting lengthy on this video, but number 1 is get on people's minds. How you do that, there's no right or wrong answer. That's my best marketing tip for 2019. Get on people's minds, and tip number 2 that goes in tandem with that is stay on people's mind. I know these topics are pretty simple and pretty basic, but you got to take the emotion out of it. I know you have your brand new business started, you're excited about it. The reality is that nobody else knows you exist. As a business owner, it's your role to be proactive. As a business owner, it's your role to initiate. Again, we've spent the last 3 or 4 months thinking about our business at length. The reality is that nobody else has. And it's our role to be proactive, to initiate, and to get our business in front of other folks by marketing and advertising. And yes, the X's and O's and the basics will get us there. That's what you got to do. That's my number 1 tip for marketing in 2019. Get on people's mind and stay on people's mind. How you do that is up to you.